All right, welcome back, folks, to the Strife Championship Series Qualifier number 1. I'm the source. Joining me is Lakes. This is brought to you by Surreal Gaming and Gamebox. Voice done right. We are into Game 2 of our final best of 3 of this qualifier between Kaizen and Senpai Please Notice Me. Senpai Please Notice Me had a phenomenal game after being down in a lot of their lanes. Were able to turn things around in the mid-game, had great rotations, phenomenal plays and escapes, and were able to take Game 1 against Kaizen. We are into the draft of Game 2, and we see some similar bans. We see Harrower and Vex again, I believe. I think Vex was the other ban in the last game.
Yep, like I said last game, the Harrower was definitely a respect ban towards Pipiru. So Kaizen doesn't want to let them get the Harrower. Because of that, PLS has no problem banning out the Vex and trying to get the Claudessa bow as the double tank, the initiation from bow, the late game of Claudessa, the utility. Just really good pickups there. While Kaizen decided to go ahead and pick up the Ray and the Vermilion. Ray, they can play that multiple lanes. They've proven that they can run it in the bot lane and do well laning phase with it. Ryzen plays a really good Ray. They could also run it in other lanes like the mid lane. Bastion Ray in the mid lane is a very strong, very common lane. And that's actually one of the lanes that Kaizen used to run way back in closed beta. And then Vermilion, very much a comfort pick for R&R. Hogan's been playing some Vermilion as well. So that can be played by a few people on their team. I'm just interested to see what two carries that PLS is going to try to grab next. There's Rook on the board. He did good with Rook later on to mid to late game with the Rook. There's Featherstone and Carter. Carter last game played amazing, and I would really like to see a Carter played again versus Kaizen.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they're going to do with this Ray. So Ryzen's played Ray in every match I've seen him play. In this tournament, he's done a phenomenal job of winning his lane early, but then sometimes they're not able to transition that into advantages. Maybe they'll try and roam that a little bit earlier, but I think that that'll be one of the keys, as they seem to be picking Ray for Ryzen almost every game, and we actually see Featherstone and Carter being picked up for PLS. They want to get that Carter again. Nachiko really did well on Carter in that last game.
Yeah, absolutely. That Carter was just a really good pick, and I'm really happy to see it again. You also have the Featherstone. Featherstone can be played by a few people on their team. Satanaka does play Featherstone. Pipiru plays Featherstone as well. So it's a good pickup for him. And I think they picked up the Tender Rook here because they wanted to just go ahead. We're going to run the Rook in the bot lane, and we're going to go and run the good old-fashioned Ray Bastion lane. It has good kill potential, good push potential. Late game Ray turns into a beast. He has the utility of his static field. The Burrow bots allows him to scout and control the map a little better. So really good pickup. And Bastion there can roam. We see the power of the Bastion last game on Shinjo. So they have a really good comp as far as having the burst, having a double AD, different style of comp with the double AD, but they have the utility to back it up with the Tender and the Ray. So I'm not entirely nervous about their comp. That's a really good pick for them. Then looking at Senpai Please's draft, you have the Claudessa, scales very well into late game, suffers a little bit levels 1 through 4. You could definitely make the Claudessa lane pay, and you just have to avoid the hook to do it. So very good. And what I mean by hook is the Dragon Reach the Q. It's a very good knock-up skill, but it's easy to dodge. So you just have to be aware of that. Then on the other hand, you have the bow. They have a good bow player on their team. Tang plays a very good bow. You've seen him on Bastion last time, so you're going to see Shinjo probably on bow this time. Try to make some plays, try to roam around the map. He has the utility with the Inner Rage, kind of that stun with the ultimate and Bull Rush. He has a very good kit. Bo is one of the top tanks in the game right now. And then we followed it up with the Featherstone and Carter. What can I say? Carter last game played phenomenal. Now we have the Featherstone. The Featherstone can be played in a few lanes, and we're going to find out exactly what they want to do with that Featherstone here.
Yeah, we just need one more pick. It's actually going to be Blazer. So more roam potential, I guess. I'm going to take a guess. Featherstone bottom lane, Carter top, Bow Blazer mid, Claudessa top? Something like that? Like I assume we're going to see Featherstone in the bottom and Blazer roaming out of mid lane.
No, it's going to be a
Really?
Claudessa Blazer top lane. It's going
Okay.
to be a Bo Carter mid and a Featherstone bottom.
All right, I'm
Featherstone,
holding you to that. I'm holding you to
Fe-
that.
do it. They could lane swap. They could put the Bo Carter in the top lane and the Claude Blazer in the mid, but the power of Shinjo on the Bo is going to be huge. I want to see the Bo do a lot of roaming. The Carter just has the ability to 2v1. It's going to free up Bo to kind of leave the lane and affect other lanes. So I do like PLS's comp here, only if they can execute in that mid game with the Carter and the Bo.
All right, well, we should be getting into this game in just a minute. We just saw PLS play an amazing best of three, or amazing match. This is a best of three. They recovered after Ryzen getting huge amounts of control in the bottom lane. Are they going to just sort of leave PPRU to handle that again and just be like, okay, bro, you've got it, right? You know, he did okay, and, you know, he got a little bit of help. Or are they going to try and shut down Ryzen early? Because Ryzen seems to be one of the larger playmakers for that team.
It really depends. I feel like at a certain point, depending on how PPRU's doing in the bot lane, they may just leave it on an island. If he's doing well versus Ryzen, they're going to try to affect other lanes. If he's kind of suffering versus Ryzen, they're going to work to shut Ryzen down. And if you could shut Ryzen down, you shut a lot of the momentum from Kaizen down. But if Artemis or PPRU is actually doing a good job in the bot lane, one-on-one with the Featherstone Rook matchup, I really feel like they're going to try to affect that top lane and really shut down that Verm. And they will definitely have the ability to with the Bow, the Blazer, and the Claude in that top lane. That's a really good, scary 3v2 lane. It's never good to see a Bow procced up with his inner rage and all you have is a Verm Tinder. It's going to rely on a very good bindweed from the Tinder to be able to disengage a Bow kind of coming in with the Claudessa Blazer. It's just so much CC in that lane that they can definitely cause some devastation in that top lane.
All right, guys, we are getting into game 2 of the last best of 3 of the SCS Qualifier. Can Senpai please notice me, close this out 2-0, and join Flipside Tactics, Surreal Gaming, and Papa Please as the 4 teams that will qualify out of the 8 for the Strife Championship Series? Or is Kaizen going to turn things around, going to make the comeback and bring the series to a 1-1? We will see in just a minute. We have loaded into the game. Items being bought, and interesting, the early gem out of Hogan. Hogan's actually going to be the one playing that Ray, and Ryzen's going to be the one on Rook.
Yep, absolutely. So Hogan's main carry that he used to play back in early closed beta was that Ray, so it's not absurd to see him on it. And Glacial Gem just is going to allow him to help spam that lane. So they're going to try to pressure down the Bo Carter mid lane. And the only way that they can do that is just mana spam on that Ray. On top of that, you're also going to have the utility from the shield from Bastion. So they're going to try to prevent Tang from roaming on that Bow.
All right, so they are out of the gate. It's gonna be Rook down the bottom lane. So Ryzen gonna be duking it out with PPRU on that Featherstone, which you've talked about as a little bit of a skill matchup there. Dudley and Hogan in the middle lane. That's a pretty good amount of burst. We've seen some very strong burst Bow. Add that to the explosive power that comes out of Array and his burrow bots. How long can the burrow bots stay on the ground? Forever?
Until you recast.
How many can you have out?
3.
Okay, so using these burrow bots as wards, so you know the only warding character in the game is clearly Ray.
Yeah. So also looking back at this top lane matchup, you do have the Tinder Verm. It's a very strong push lane, but the Claudessa Blazer has a very strong kill potential style lane. The Claudessa, anytime she lands the hook followed up by the Blazer Tether, it's probably a dead Tinder or Verm, especially pre-6.
Definitely true. There's a lot of burst potential there. Also, Mantiqueus and Arnai, they're not going to be all that tanky. I think they have, what, a little over 500 health? Yeah, about 600 health each.
But you could see really heavy regen builds coming out from Kaizen. They definitely want to try to harass these lanes down. On Tinder, the mana regen is definitely going to help with the sustainability, because the heals and the shields coming out and the poke and harass coming out from Tinder is very strong, good utility. So the mana is definitely going to help in that top lane.
All right, so in the middle lane, we see a little bit of trading going on so far. I'm curious to see who's got advantage in the bottom lane. It looks like it's going to be PP. He's managed to force Ryzen off, is going to get the early level 2. We'll see whether or not he aggresses. Actually, Ryzen hits level 2 at exactly the same time. He's actually going to level up the E. Didn't want the shield, wants to have the power drain for the trades with Ryzen, and is starting to win the trade, doing a good bit of damage there. This could be an early kill if he thinks he can do it. One more auto attack. Nice play by Ryzen to jump away exactly when he did. That would have been the kill had that auto attack gotten off. And now PP Root looks like he wants to step up and continue the fight up in the top lane. Actually, no, why am I going up top lane? I want to watch bottom lane. I want to see this duel, because these two are likely to pick a lot of fights. But in the middle lane, Dudley takes a little bit of damage. Senderhar looked to step up, but Nachiko didn't have the damage there. Actually, Dudley goes forward, gets the stun onto Senderhar. He's going to pop the bow stun and the bow throw. Can he get away from this? A lot of damage down onto Hogan, but I think Dudley's going to be able to finish the job. 1 or 2 more auto attacks. Senderhar is actually going to get out of there as Nachiko is bringing down Hogan. 1 more auto attack that's going to be first blood. No, he manages to live. He throws out the last shot. It does not connect, and now Dudley is able to force Nachiko off. Senderhar is very, very low. He's going to need to heal up, but a great defensive play there by Kaizen. Ooh, Dudley may have gone too far forward. Can Bo get off the stun? It's going to pop right before the tower. 1 more auto attack. Nachiko picks up the... Oh, and Bo goes down. Is that going to be kill participation, or is that just a suicide?
I think it's a suicide. You would have seen the kill participation pop up in the right hand side of the screen. But what that does mean is that put the the Bastion kind of behind, right? Because you almost had the kill. You went a little too far. You forced the Ray back. The Ray's now and then this Carter's getting that free farm once again in that mid lane.
Yeah, also, I mean, had they picked up that kill, that would have been huge for them. But, you know, the revenge kill would have been worth it. Continued aggression here in the middle lane. Nachiko getting a little bit low, but he'll be able to regen back up. Dudley, he needs to be careful about how far he engages forward. Senderhar's done a really good job of peeling him off. They do have a little bit of level advantage there, so I don't think there'll be too much aggression for the moment. Actually, Alejandro steps forward. Mantiquius almost had that hook, and that would have probably spelled certain doom for Santanaka with the damage Arna is putting out. Outcome with the Dragon's Reach, it doesn't land. Nice snare by Santanaka onto Arna, but he's taking a ton of damage there. Is going to get hooked back in, gets the heal out from Alejandro. That'll help keep him alive. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Sanderhar took a lot of damage there. Dudley and Hogan aggressing forward. If they can get that burst kill, they may be able to pick up a second, as a lot of these mid lane players seem to continue to overextend after it looks like a fight is probably over. And then again, up in the top lane, another snare onto RNR. Alejandro did not have the Dragon's Reach to pull him back. That's going to be the disengage from both sides.
Yeah, PLS definitely loves action. They like to aggress. They like to force their hands. And Kaizen at this point in time is definitely trying to do the same thing. They're trying to match PLS's playstyle. It's a different strat call. Like I said, Hogan is taking over the shot calling, so their playstyles are going to naturally just change just a little bit, and they're trying to play a little more aggressive, and PLS loves to play aggressive. They love roams, they love fights, and both teams have the comps to just 100-0 somebody and just do a lot of damage. And as you can see, the Ray's actually trying to go in the bot lane to try to force the hand at the bot lane.
Well, it was instantly called a little bit early for some of these roams. They knew exactly when Hogan started his rotation. That's going to be the Golden Protector, I believe, picked up for Bo. He did just buy that, or he had the other stone. I saw a Golden Protector somewhere. Somebody's got one. Sandrahara stepping forward to lay down the heal so that they can aggress onto the tower a little bit. And you know, Hogan, he's waiting off on the side. Looks like he wants to step forward for this play. Can he get off the stun? And they don't decide to go on the Sandrahara. They don't feel confident in that. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, a lot of damage down to Alejandro. RNR trying to lock down Santanaka. He's got to get healed out, and he'll be fine. Back in the middle lane, we saw a little bit more aggression onto Dudley, but nobody has managed to make the dive yet. Bottom lane GPM, pretty even. A little bit of an advantage for Ryzen, maybe about 10 GPM per minute.
And that's perfectly fine. They want the Featherstone to kind of sit in that bot lane and just keep Ryzen busy. And they're actually, that's Bibiru's playstyle. And as you can see, he tried to go all in, but he ended up using the pincer to kind of disengage. And he's just going to end up grabbing a health pot, healing back up, and farming underneath tower. So he'll be okay in that bot lane.
Although, yeah, but Kaizen, they're doing a good job of pushing in this top lane. There's been back and forth in the middle lane. That's been pretty even. But up in top, they're trying to keep them under tower. They've done a little bit of damage, not too much. I think Mantikias is just looking for the right snare onto Santanaka, so RNR can make the play. The Dragon's Reach comes out, does not hit onto RNR, and they're starting to get some tower damage now. Nice shield from the Tinder is going to help keep them alive. They're going to need to back up as a nice snare onto RNR. They don't have the Dragon's Reach. That is still down, so again, the disengage without those two abilities. They cannot set up any kill plays. Down on the bottom lane, it looks like PB wants to make a play onto Ryzen. He's actually going to miss the Q. He overestimated Ryzen's juke, and Ryzen actually popped the hide and seek before jumping away with that hook shot. PB wants to aggress forward, but he can't get through those minions. Ryzen is popping a potion. He needs to be careful about how far he aggresses on this play. If Ryzen decides that he wants to all in him, he actually doesn't have ultimate, and Featherstone has ultimate, so I think if Ryzen picked that fight, he might die. He's going to play a little bit safer, and all things even still, slight gold advantage for Senpai, please note it to me. Actually, aggression forward by Dudley in the middle lane. Sandrahara goes forward. He's going to get stunned out, but can he get the stun off onto Dudley? He misses the ultimate by an inch, and the ultimate from Nachiko goes down. That would have been the kill. Just a slight misplay by Sandrahara, and a good juke by Dudley is going to result in no kills just yet.
So just to clear something up about what I said earlier, I talked about, okay, the hook missed. I was like, oh, in the top lane, but they're going back and forth.
I don't know, Manskis wants this. They're going to get the hook onto Santanaka. A little bit more damage. One or two more auto attacks. Can they get that off? It's going to be the Blazer ultimate. Santanaka is going to be able to dash away. And that was, or be able to walk away from that and stun onto Nachiko. He's actually going to sit in the middle of the stun area and just keep on fighting. Now Sandrahara going deep under the tower. Can he pick up Ray? He will get that with a bow throw. But is that going to be the end of Nachiko? The tanks just decide that they want the kills and they're going to trade carry for carry. Up in the top lane, the Tinder plant has gone down. They're starting to they're continuing their pressure onto this tower. It's been going since the beginning of the game. Down goes that Tinder plant. Nice hook back onto Mantikias, but Santanaka wasn't there to follow up on that. Did not have his tether ready, and now PB eats the deliverance from Ryzen. Ryzen's going to step forward. Out comes the ultimate from PB. It's going to be the hide and seek, but I think that Ryzen is going to win this fight. It's going to be so close that Ryzen didn't feel confident that one nice Q auto attack combo from PB would have resulted in his death, and now Bo is rotating in. Sandrahara, he's just such a monster when he rotates. Can he get onto Ryzen? He's going to try and get under the tower. Throws out the bow throw, but doesn't decide to follow up on it. Neil up in the top, and it's going to be a 3-man onto Santanaka. They get the snare back, even though he's invisible. The death ray comes out from Hogan. It does not land. Can Alejandro and Santanaka continue to hold this as there are 3 members for their team and 2 down in the bot lane? I don't
they're
know
going
if
to lose this top tower. They're going to let it go, yeah. PLS is going to let this go, and then in the bot lane, they're going to try to trade evenly with towers, but they're not going to be able to get it. So really good rotation there by Team Kaizen. Just to, like I was saying, to reiterate what I said, something I said earlier, if someone suicides, the gold split between the team and not the players that were involved in the kill. Just to clear that up, I was kind of unclear about the gold split there.
What if no? So even if like I died to Baldir, you guys would get the gold?
If you suicide, the opposing team splits the gold amongst all the players instead of the kill participation.
Well, this is going to be a Baldir play. Alejandro in here. In comes Sandrahara. He's going to help pick up the kill. It's going to be Nachiko, or no, Santanaka who picks up that one. And they're going to transition and take the Baldir. So a 1-for-0 and the Baldir. I feel like they could have made more, gotten more gold there. But Kaizen, they get away by the skin of their teeth, at least a number of their members, and they don't lose that much. But the gold lead still in favor of Senpai, please notice me, only about 1.5k, so this, you know, it's really nothing huge, and Kaizen is nowhere near as far behind as they were towards the end of last game. Mantikias takes a little bit of damage there, steps forward up to Alejandro. He's at about half health, and RNR should be able to safely farm. Now, Sandrahara rotating into this bottom lane. They really, really want Ryzen for this play. And Bo is going to go under the tower, but they have Hogan there to back him up. It's going to be Ryzen stepping away from that, using that hook shot. And now the aggression in by Hogan. He's going to get the stun down to the PB. He's going to cleanse one CC, cleanses the second one. The death ray comes out. That's a lot of damage. And now Senjo Hara, can he make the plays? He's doing a lot of damage to Ryzen, but that may have been too aggressive. One more auto attack, a nice bow throw, and he picks up the kill. Now it's going to be him against Hogan. Can PB come in and start to reduce the power? He's going to hit really hard there, but I don't think he has the damage. It's going to be a 1-for-1. I would be careful if I were PPR. That stun is going to come out as well as a burrow bot. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, a lot of damage down onto Nachiko. Dudley has gone in, and he really, really wants him. A nice heal out of Alejandro is going to keep Nachiko from dropping too hard. A nice snare back by Montequias. The burst is there, and Dudley picks up the kill onto Nachiko. That is going to be another kill going over to the side of Kaizen. They're going to go 2-for-1 overall in those trades. They may lose some tower damage up top, but I don't think anything is going to go down, and they're going to send 3 members mid to push this. Sandra Hart is here to back them up. Ryzen might actually make a play in the bottom lane. They're going to lay out the Tinder plant. It's going to be a snare onto Alejandro, but I think they should be able to just continuously defend this. They laid on the bow to him. Dudley actually goes forward. There's a nice stun out of Arna. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, onto Bibiru. So much damage. They should be able to pick this kill up. One more auto attack. He's going to walk away. Ryzen gets that kill. In the middle lane, the tower goes down. Alejandro looking for a Dragon's Reach. Doesn't land that onto anyone. The top tower is going to go down for Blazer. So a 1-for-1 in terms of towers, but an easy kill, easy free pickup onto PP for Ryzen. He's starting to get really scary with that damage. Pretty much has gone full power onto this Rook, and the fight doesn't end. Dudley's going to aggress onto Nachiko. They don't have a tower to defend back to. Sandro Har is preparing that stun, and in from the backside, in comes Santanaka. A lot of damage onto R&R. Can they get on top of him? Sandro Har is there, body blocking out. Alejandro is going to come in. Can they get now Mantequias, as he is the next optimal target? They're going to lay out the rocket, a little bit more damage. He's going to try and dash away. Both row goes there. They should be able to turn onto Dudley. That's going to be a free kill pickup, and the rocket doesn't land on the Mantequias, but they now have numbers. Pipiru is down in the bottom lane, matching up against Ryzen. They're going to use the bow totem to try and continue healing. Hogan, he lays down the stun, and there's going to be a nice snare. It's going to be Mantequias locking onto Sandrahara, but that tower will go down. They have the regen necessary, and down in the bottom lane, Pipiru duels out Ryzen. That's going to be a kill for them. What is with these games? They just can't hold on to a gold lead for more than 5 seconds. I believe Baltier is out. Papa, please, will pick, or Papa, please, Senpai, please notice me, will pick that one up. And gold lead in favor of them, jumping from 3K to about 5.
So now that you can take a breath, relax about all the action that literally just happened, but there was tons of rotation.
Is for scrubs.
There was so much action. Everyone was using their cooldowns properly, good rotations, and they're going to try to re-push this mid lane.
They should be able to push that out. What I would worry about is the dive on the PV. That tower is super low. Ryzen is probably going to try and kill him. They've got Ray rotating in.
Yeah, at this point, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to try to power play this bot lane. They're going to get the free gold coming out of this tower. They have all 5 people on the bottom side of the map. Blazer is in the top lane, so if they do decide to dive, they're just going to give it up. They have to worry about setting up for Sindar at this point.
They know. PB knew. He knew it was up. He was like, I'm just going to go farm this. I don't need to be there. My team's pushing. The team's pushing mid. He will be there to defend. So the question is whether or not 4 members is more value with 1 wave than, you know, what PB can put in. Actually, they'll wind up actually trading these inner turrets for free. So PB is going to stay there and just stop them from base racing, as they have 5 members. He'll be able to stop part of the wave. I think that's going to be the back from PLS. They don't really want to make that play. Down comes the Tinder plant. In goes Thunder Heart. He's going to get snared up and then stunned. A lot of damage on him. Dudley is able to pick up the kill for that one. But PB, he did pop his ultimate. There's a lot of really low targets. They could make a play here onto Mantequias, doing a bit of damage. Hogan's going to come in from the side. He's going to try and land the snare. The Dragon's Reach isn't going to land. Now Mantequias steps forward, misses the snare. Dudley goes forward, pops the ultimate. Out comes the Ray Laser, lands on the 2. Nachiko and Pipiru are very, very low. Pipiru needs to back up. He's going to fall. Alejandro is really low, and they've still got Blazer solo pushing, but a nice play by Nachiko. He's going to pick up 1. Can he pick up 2? Alejandro, he stopped. He stutter stepped. He didn't manage to get it. They're going to miss the play there, and now Alejandro is going to fall. That's a nice play by R&R and Ryzen. They're going to pick up that one, but Blazer is just solo pushing this in mid. They have to stop the backs. That's what Sandrahara is going to do. He's going to chase them down and force them to stop backing. Mantequias should be able to back off in that bush. Ryzen's going to be able to back in the other bush, and Blazer wasn't able to finish that tower, so they wind up trading kind of an unfavorable team fight for not so much. Can Santanaka get the snare down? It's not going to land. Nice dash away using that bounder by R&R. and there are no more plays. There are no more plays. Stop
There's
doing
not.
things. There are no
Those
more plays.
aren't bad trades, right? So Kaizen, essentially, they got the same amount of towers. However, the only thing that happened was there's a few kill exchanges on that bot lane while Kaizen was trying to push that bot generator, and they let the Blazer just poke down and poke and poke and chip, and now that generator's barely standing up. Was it less than a quarter health? No, a little more than a quarter health. So it's a little more than a quarter health. At any point in time, they could backdoor that. So that's one thing that they have to be scared of at this point in time in the game, is that could be easily backdoored. On top of that, any Krydos that they get,
they hate him.
They're just trying to go in and either catch it, get one pick, or try to force people to rotate towards this bot gen. I don't feel like that's the right call, because right now it's so low in the mid lane against Kaizen that PLS can actually push, and that's why you see the backs right now.
Everybody is backing now. This is going to be risky. They've got Ryzen up on the high ground looking to make the play. Santanaka stepped a little far forward, took a shot to the face. Now, Pipiru, he just wants to farm right now. He's got a Zealous Blade and a Golden Protector. He really just needs to get a little bit more gold back into the game. I don't know if PLS should be going for this Baldir. That is very risky. All 5 members of Kaizen are here. They're rotating at least 3, now 4, now 5. Can they burn this down? A little bit more damage. They will get that very, very quickly. That's a nice Dragon's Reach over the wall and the snare, and that's going to result in them picking that up for free. Out comes the ultimate. It's going to hit Nachiko. He's so low. He's going to get snare back in. That's going to be the free pick for Kaizen. So, even trade?
Until Kaizen rotates up and tries to force down this top tower.
I don't know how this is going to go.
They're going to get the top tower, but mid tower is they're going to force that mid gen. They're not going to be able to get it, I don't think, before they back, unless Kaizen just doesn't react. And at this time, it's going to allow Pipiru to get that bottom outer tower, and that's a good trade. They're trying to clean up some of these big global objectives. They didn't have all the members in the right areas to try to collapse on Kaizen to get that, to kind of defend that tier 2, so they took what they had.
Yeah, the problem is I think Pipiru's been focused down so much. Yes, he has that Zealous Blade, but he needs some more damage. He needs some more items. He's only sitting on about 1,000 gold right now, so they're just trying to get him farmed up, whereas a lot of the other members, everybody from Kaizen just backed, PLS, they've got everybody just backed and bought items again, so they just backed or hit their couriers. Now Sandrahara, oh, he wants this. He's waiting around the side. They now have Nachiko here. They've got Alejandra. This is going to be a 5-man rotation. They're going to go in. In goes Sandrahara. He's going to get the stun down the Ryzen. Ryzen gets destroyed by Nachiko. Now the snare lands on Alejandra, but I don't think that was the target they wanted. RNR, can he get away from the rocket? No. Blazer's going to come in. They're going to land the snare. He is going to fall. Nachiko doing so much damage. Pipiru picks up that kill. Dudley is going to get hooked back in by that Dragon's Rage. It was a pretty powerful Ray Burrow bot, and how they're going to rotate right onto Syndara. They have the regen. They have all 5 members. Yes, Kaizen should be able to possibly make a delay play, but there's a lot of damage out from this double AD carry composition. And they have the snare. Snare actually lands onto Mantikias. They have the poke out of Nachiko. That's going to be a nice hook over the wall. A phenomenal Dragon Rage knocks him back over the wall. Sandrahara taking a lot of damage. This may have been too aggressive by PLS. They're taking so much damage. Do they get the Syndara? They will, and they're going to trade 2 for 0, 3 for 0, and they're going to get the Syndara. That may not have been worth it. They might have wanted to focus targets better.
At this point in time, they could have done a few things. They could have actually peeled off. Once you had that Dragon's Reach go over and knock Mantikias over the wall, you could have actually just full-on peeled off, engaged on them, got the kills you needed, and then turned back on to Krydos. Now they gave up a free mid tower. They are going to be up just in time to push with Krydos, but you gave up a free tower. These guys were already behind. You gave up free gold. At that point in time, if you didn't finish off that Krydos and pretty much cut your losses and say, hey, we're going to die with a few guys, but we still need to push with this Krydos, or not push with the Krydos, kill Syndara, then they would have all died, essentially, and gave up the Syndara, which would have been huge. So they made the decision to stay on it. They ended up picking up the Syndara. That's why Krydos was pushing down. They took a few deaths, but I think they're going to be able to pull it out and get this gen that's already pretty much dead.
Yeah, Krydos will jump on that. Ryzen again waiting up on his high ground, looking for a play that he think that he knows where they are. It's going to be down the bow turret. They should be able to just burn straight through this. A little bit of damage. In comes the stun from Ray. That's going to lock down Santanaka and Janachiko. He's going to fall. Ryzen is doing so much damage, but PP Rose in the back line. Actually, no, he hide and seeked away. Dudley tries to make a play with that ultimate, but he's getting destroyed by PP Roo. So much damage, and Krytos is the one who picks up the generator. Double kill for the Blazer. A little bit more damage onto Hogan, and he will fall. It's going to be an auto attack. The snare does the trick. Triple kill for Blazer, and now they're aggressing. They want to end this. They want to get right into the SCS. They're aggressing forward. No, I think it's just Alejandro going ham. No, got me all excited.
Like
Arnart is going to keep on chasing. Alejandro is going to take one more auto attack, and he's going to fall. Actually, Mantakias steals that away. Baldir for Senpai, please notice me.
Worth. Not Alejandro dying, no, by no means. Like, when I watched Alejandro try to go ham there, I literally thought of the Lady Gaga song when they're like, Ali Alejandro, right? Like, I wanted to be like, no, Ali Alejandro, come back, dude, don't do it. Your life is worth it, man. But he gave up the overextension kill to them. They ended up picking up Baldir on the backside. It's perfectly fine. You're at no risk of losing anything. You got the gen. It's definitely worth in PLS's favor.
All right, finished. A bunch of big finished items on the side of PLS. Featherstone actually hasn't backed yet. He's sitting on, I think, enough for that. Now he needs a little. He needs about 600 more or 700 more for his what I'm assuming is going to be a crushing mace. Full team rotation.
You're right.
by.
You're right.
Full team rotation by Kaizen.
You're wrong.
God damn it! Into this bottom half of the map. Sanjahara waiting in the bush. Hogan, no. The out comes the Dragon's Reach. He's going to try and dash away. Is he going to make it out of there? He's going to get a little bit here, but PB is around the backside. Mantakias is trying to snare him down. Dudley is there as well, but this is still a 3v5. Now in comes Nachiko. Can he land the snipe shots they need to do some damage? They aren't going to aggress for it. Oh, Blazer got picked. Who picked Blazer? It had to have been Ryzen.
I think it was Ryzen on the backside. Ryzen just caught that Blazer stealth and just killed her.
Yeah, no, it was. We have confirmed it was Ryzen who picked that shot. So, good kill there. That's gonna deter what looked like an easy free kill with numbers disadvantage for PLS. Like they were going in with lower numbers, and it looked like they were going to pick that, but Ryzen stopped that. They're now waiting up on this high ground, looking for where Kaizen is going to push in. Kaizen is waiting in a bush, so we'll see who face checks first. PLS taking the camp. Throws out the Q. That's going to indicate where everybody is. Ryzen takes a shot to the face and takes a good bit of damage there. Now the aggression in. Sanjahara is flanking him from the side. They got the snare onto Dudley. He may not be the target they want, but they should be able to burst straight through him. They take him down to about half health. Haven't wasted too many skills. Nice Everwinter Charm by Dudley. He's going to lock down Santanaka. Santanaka is so low. The Tinder plank goes down. PB on the backside of the fight. He's turning onto Hogan. He's trying to bring down anybody he can, but he's going to get taken out. Can they get onto Ryzen? They can't. A nice ultimate by Sanjahara is going to result in a double kill for him. One more kill and they'll be able. Oh, the snipes. Can Nachiko land the shot? It's going to be the bow throw. Triple kill for Bo. He's feeling very confident right now. They have the middle generator. I don't know why he's continuing to chase. He's going to get snared up by Mantakias. He just wants to continuously chase out Mantakias while they look for their next rotation. Actually, that's an Everwinter Charm. A little bit of damage. In comes the snipe. It's going to be Nachiko. He picks up that kill. And now they're going to be able to rotate onto this tower. They don't need anybody to tank it. Sanjahara can do the job.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the advantages of Carter. If you have Carter on your team, you should never get a single pick on high ground. You should always be scouting out every kind of bush you possibly can, scouting out the high grounds. Your team, when you're well coordinated, use and call for those Carter rockets to try to defend and make sure that no one gets picked, especially in the mid to late game. 20-22 minutes in the late game is considered late game, especially with the generator down. You see huge item builds coming out from both sides. Mainly PLS. They've had such a huge advantage coming in from the mid game, going into the mid-late game. They got the generator, they have the Grimoire, they have some power components, they have a couple wind rushes, they have a lot of utility on their team, and Pipiru has to
Picky
watch out.
in the jungle onto Kaizen. Kaizen gonna get brought down by Sandro Hara. One more auto attack and he's gonna get that. They're gonna bring down Ryzen. Actually, Ryzen sneaking away. He will now fall. Pipiru was picked off in the bottom lane, so they trade 1 for 1. But Sandro Hara, he feels confident. He's gonna go right in onto this generator. Who cares? He can tank it. He's got the regen. He's got the heals once Tinder shows up. Not once Tinder shows up. They should have the damage to do this. Sandro Hara should need to back up. In comes Dudley. He's going to get the stun onto Alejandro. Huge damage out of Nachiko. That's going to bring almost everybody down. And massive explosive play out of Santanaka. He's going to bring down Mantakias. God, these names. These names are just so freaking ridiculous sometimes.
I'm going to ask their manager to switch their names to Korean
change their
style
names
names
to
like
simple
Heart.
things. 1 and 2 and A, B, and C. And I'll be
Or
so happy.
circle, square, triangle, you know? Like, they can make it happen.
Nah, but then they'll go like dodecahedron, and I'm going to still get tongue-tied. They'll find a way. The players always find a way to troll the casters one way or another, whether it's in picks, whether it's in exceedingly complicated names. What is Sandro Hara doing? He just wants to backdoor all of these generators.
And that's perfectly fine. That thing is almost dead. They're waiting for Kaizen to try to misplay. Right now, there's Sindara's up. So essentially what they're going to do is they're waiting for Kaizen to rotate towards Sindara and kind of push a lot of their people that way and grab some vision control. And they're going to just try to backdoor this generator with the bow blazer while the rest of them kind of keep them off of that Sindara from pushing. So it's
They've been content to leave Pipiru as the sacrificial lamb. Sandro Hara and Santanaka are going to go in here. They're going to bring down the shield. That generator is going down fast. Meanwhile, they're actually picking a fight. Senpai Blues notice me. They feel confident. Pipiru taking a lot of damage there. Alejandro going to be the one who gets snared back. Dudley duking it out with Pipiru, but Ryzen comes in from behind him, and it's going to be nobody going down for Senpai for Kaizen. Senpai, please notice me. They lose Kaizen loses another tower. Whoa, huge damage, almost picking up R&R. Nachiko almost had the snipe